There is a place where dreams go to die. It's not a dramatic, fiery crash. It's a quiet, slow, and comfortable suffocation. This place is warm, it's safe, it's familiar. It requires nothing from you. It asks for no courage, no effort, and no growth. This place is your comfort zone, and right now, it is methodically, silently, and efficiently killing every dream you have ever had for yourself. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You feel it, don't you? That gentle, gnawing ache of unfulfilled potential. The quiet whisper in the back of your mind that asks, is this all there is? You live in a state of good enough. Your job is good enough. Your health is good enough. Your life is good enough to prevent you from making a radical change, but not good enough to bring you any real deep sense of fulfillment. It's a velvet coffin, a gilded cage. You have traded the exhilarating, terrifying, and meaningful adventure of living for the predictable, sedated safety of just existing. Most people make this trade and never look back. They are the 99%. They punch the clock, they watch the screen, they go to sleep, and they repeat the cycle, all while their ambitions wither on the vine. They convince themselves that this safety is happiness. They tell themselves that the absence of pain is the same as the presence of joy. This is the great lie of the modern age. And you are here listening to this because some part of you, the truest part of you, refuses to believe that lie anymore. This audiobook is your wake-up call. It is the alarm you have been waiting for. It is the blueprint for your escape. I am not going to offer you soft platitudes or tell you to just think positive. We are going to perform a surgical operation. We are going to identify the invisible walls of your prison, understand the seductive poison of its comfort, and then systematically dismantle it, brick by painful brick. I will show you that the fear you feel is not a stop sign, but a compass. It is pointing you directly toward the life you claim to want. Success, growth, and the realization of your dreams are not found in the center of your comfort zone. They exist only on the other side of its border, a border that is guarded by fear, uncertainty, and discomfort. The price of admission to the life you desire is discomfort. There is no other currency accepted. Over the course of this audiobook, you will learn to not only tolerate that currency, but to actively seek it. You will rewire your brain to see challenges not as threats, but as opportunities. You will transform from someone who runs from fear to someone who runs toward it. This journey will not be easy. It will require you to be honest with yourself in a way you never have before. It will demand that you take action that feels awkward, difficult, and scary. Most people will hear this, feel a fleeting moment of inspiration, and then retreat back into their cage. But you are not most people. The fact that you are here means the escape artist within you is awake. The question is, are you ready to pick the lock? Your dreams are on life support. The comfort zone has its hand on the plug. It's time to fight back. Chapter 1. The Gilded Cage, Recognizing Your Comfort Zone. Before you can escape a prison, you must first realize you are in one. The comfort zone is the most insidious prison ever designed because its walls are invisible and its bars are made of your own routines, habits, and cherished excuses. It feels less like a jail and more like a home. This is its genius. This is its danger. Your first task is to become an architect of your own cage, to trace its blueprints, to see clearly, perhaps for the first time, the exact dimensions of your confinement. What is the comfort zone? It is any space, physical or psychological, where your behavior and thinking are routine and patterned, where you experience low levels of stress and anxiety. It is your default setting. It's the same route to work every day. It's the same 3 restaurants you rotate between. It's the type of people you always date. It's the TV shows you watch, the opinions you hold without question, and the tasks you perform at work that you can do with your eyes closed. Most people live 95% of their lives within this tiny, self-imposed territory. They believe they are making free choices, but they are merely walking well-worn paths etched into their brains, paths of least resistance. The first sign that you're deep inside the cage is a pervasive feeling of boredom, stagnation, or being stuck. Life lacks vibrancy. The days blur together into a beige montage. You talk about the future, about the things you will do someday, but your current actions are just repetitions of yesterday. This feeling of being stuck is your soul's cry for novelty, for challenge, for growth. It's a signal from your inner self that you have stopped expanding. Most people misinterpret this signal. They think they need a new car, a new phone, or a vacation. They seek a temporary change of scenery, a brief distraction from the cage before dutifully returning to it. They try to decorate the prison cell instead of planning an escape. To recognize your comfort zone, you must become a ruthless self-auditor. Take out a piece of paper. I want you to draw a circle. Inside that circle, I want you to list all the things you do, think, and feel on a regular basis. Your job, your daily habits, the people you talk to, the food you eat, the content you consume, the conversations you have. Be brutally honest. Now, outside that circle, I want you to list the things you want to do but haven't. The things that scare you a little. The dreams you've deferred, starting that business, asking for that promotion, learning that language, traveling to that country alone, having that difficult conversation. That space outside the circle, that is the land of your dreams. The circle itself is your comfort zone. Look at it. See how safe and crowded it is inside and how full of possibility it is outside. Another way to identify the cage is to listen to your own language. Pay attention to the excuses you use. These are the bars of your cell. I'm not the kind of person who. I'm too old, young to. I don't have the time, money to. I'll do it when. What if I fail? Each of these phrases is a verbal command to your subconscious mind to stay put, to remain safe within the known boundaries. The 99% are master excuse makers. They have a D in rationalizing inaction. They can build a fortress of logical-sounding reasons why they should remain exactly where they are. You must see these rationalizations for what they are. fear wearing a mask of prudence. The comfort zone also manifests in your information diet. Do you read books and watch videos that challenge your worldview? Or do you only consume content that confirms your existing biases? Growth happens when your assumptions are challenged, not when they are reinforced. If everything you consume makes you nod in agreement, you are not learning. You are marinating in your own intellectual comfort zone. Your relationships can also be a powerful part of the cage. Do your friends and family encourage you to take risks and grow, or do they subtly, or not so subtly, encourage you to stay the same? Misery loves company, but so does mediocrity. People who are comfortable in their own cage get very nervous when they see someone else trying to leave. Your growth is a mirror that reflects their stagnation, and they will often try to pull you back in to protect their own sense of comfort. Why would you want to do that? You have a good job. Isn't that risky? You've changed. Yes, you have. That's the entire point. The process of recognizing your comfort zone can be, well, uncomfortable. It requires you to admit that your life in many ways has been a series of choices based on fear rather than aspiration. It requires you to take responsibility for your own stagnation. This is a bitter pill to swallow. Most people will not do it. They prefer the bliss of ignorance. They would rather believe they are victims of circumstance than architects of their own confinement. But not you. You are choosing to see the bars. You are choosing to feel the suffocating smallness of the cage. This awareness is painful, but it is also the source of your power. It is the first, essential step. You cannot escape a prison you don't know you're in. Now you know, you see the walls, you feel the bars. The cage is no longer a comfortable home. It is a cage, and you were not born to live in a cage. You were born to be free. Chapter 2: The Biology of Comfort. Why your brain wants you to fail. To win any war, you must first understand your enemy. And in this war against the comfort zone, your primary enemy is not your boss, your circumstances, or your lack of opportunity. It's your own brain. Your brain, the most sophisticated survival machine in the known universe, is hardwired to keep you safely inside the cage. It is actively, biologically, and chemically working against your ambition. Understanding this is not an excuse. It's a strategic advantage. It allows you to stop blaming yourself for being afraid and start outsmarting your own primal instincts. The first culprit is a small, almond-shaped region in your brain called the amygdala. This is your brain's alarm system. Its job is to scan the environment for potential threats. For our ancestors, this was a lifesaver. A rustle in the bushes could be a predator, and the amygdala would trigger the fight or flight response, flooding the body with adrenaline and cortisol, preparing it to survive. The problem is, your amygdala hasn't gotten the memo that you're no longer living in the savannah. To your ancient brain, threat doesn't just mean a saber-toothed tiger. It means anything that is new, uncertain, or unpredictable. Asking for a raise, that's a social threat. You could be rejected. Starting a new business, that's a threat to your stability. Public speaking. a massive threat of social exclusion. When you even think about stepping outside your comfort zone, your amygdala screams, "Danger, danger." Retreat to what's known and safe. That feeling of anxiety, the sweaty palms, the racing heart, that's not a sign you're about to die. That is simply your ancient alarm system doing its job. Most people feel this alarm and obey it without question. They interpret the feeling of fear as a legitimate reason to stop. You must learn to interpret it differently. You must learn to say, that's just my amygdala. Thanks for trying to keep me safe, but I've got this." You must learn to feel the fear and take action anyway, teaching your brain through experience that the threat was not fatal. Every time you act in spite of the fear, you are recalibrating your amygdala. You are updating its software. The second biological force at play is the principle of energy conservation. Your brain is an energy hog, consuming about 20% of your body's calories despite being only 2% of its weight. To be efficient, it creates neural pathways for everything you do repeatedly. These are habits. Driving a car, brushing your teeth, your morning routine. These actions become automated, requiring very little conscious thought or energy. Your comfort zone is simply a collection of these deeply ingrained, energy-efficient neural pathways. When you try to do something new, you have to carve a new neural pathway. This requires immense amounts of energy and focus. Your brain, being lazy and efficient by design, resists this. It will throw up every objection it can to get you back onto the familiar, low-energy superhighway of your old habits. This is too hard. Let's do it tomorrow. This isn't working. That feeling of mental resistance is the feeling of your brain trying to conserve energy. Most people give in. They default to the path of least resistance. You must understand that this resistance is a sign of progress. It is the feeling of growth at a neurological level. You are literally rewiring your brain. It's supposed to feel hard. The difficulty is the work being done. Then there's the chemical warfare waged by dopamine. Dopamine is often called the pleasure molecule, but it's more accurately the motivation molecule. It's released in anticipation of a reward. Your brain is wired to seek out quick, easy, predictable dopamine hits. Scrolling social media. Tiny, unpredictable rewards, massive dopamine hit. Eating sugary food. Immediate reward, dopamine hit. Watching another episode of a show you like. Predictable comfort, dopamine hit. Now, consider the rewards of stepping out of your comfort zone. The reward for starting a business might be years away. The reward for learning a new skill is slow and incremental. These activities are dopamine poor in the short term. Your brain, being a dopamine junkie, will always urge you to choose the immediate, easy reward over the delayed, difficult one. This is why you choose to scroll on your phone instead of working on your business plan. It's not a moral failing. It's a biological default. You are fighting against millions of years of evolution that programmed you to prioritize immediate gratification. So how do you fight back? You have to manually override the system. You have to learn to delay gratification. You must consciously connect your difficult, long-term actions with the massive, meaningful reward they will eventually bring. Visualize the success. Feel the pride of accomplishment. You have to create a future dopamine signal that is more compelling than the cheap dopamine available right now. You must recognize that your brain is not your friend in this endeavor. It is a survival-obsessed, energy-conserving, dopamine-addicted machine that thinks your dream is a saber-toothed tiger. It wants you to be safe, fed, and reproducing. It does not care about your novel, your marathon, or your startup. Your higher consciousness, your ambition, your spirit, that is what cares. Your journey out of the comfort zone is the journey of your conscious mind triumphing over your primal brain. It's the prefrontal cortex, the seat of logic, reason, and long-term planning, wresting control away from the amygdala. This is the essence of human potential. You are not a slave to your biology. You are the master of it. By understanding these internal forces, you can stop fighting yourself and start strategizing. You are no longer a victim of your fear. You are a student of it. You see its tricks. You understand its motives, and you can now develop the countermeasures to defeat it. Chapter 3: The Slow Poison of Someday. The comfort zone has a favorite word. It's a beautiful, seductive, and utterly toxic word that has been responsible for the death of more dreams than failure ever could. The word is someday. Someday I'll write that book. Someday I'll get in shape. Someday I'll start that business. Someday is the comfort zone's national anthem. It is the perfect defense mechanism, a masterpiece of self-deception. It allows you to hold onto the dream, to keep the warm, fuzzy feeling of your potential, without ever having to face the terrifying, uncomfortable reality of actually pursuing it. Someday is a fantasy island. It's a place where all the conditions are perfect. On Someday Isle, you have more time, more money, more confidence. The sky is always blue and the path is clear. But Someday Isle isn't a real place. It's a mirage created by your fear, a destination that is always on the horizon but never gets any closer. Living in someday is the primary symptom of a chronic comfort zone addiction. It manifests as procrastination. Procrastination is not a time management problem. You don't procrastinate because you're lazy or disorganized. You procrastinate on tasks that make you feel uncomfortable. Tasks that trigger your fear of failure, fear of judgment, or fear of uncertainty. You don't procrastinate on watching your favorite show. You don't procrastinate on eating a delicious meal. You procrastinate on making the sales call, on writing the first chapter, on having the difficult conversation. Procrastination is an emotional regulation strategy. It's a way to avoid the negative feeling of discomfort associated with a task by doing something more comfortable instead. The relief you feel when you decide to do it later is real. It's a dopamine hit of avoidance. But it's a trap, because while you get temporary relief, the task doesn't go away. It looms larger, gathering more fear and anxiety around it, making it even harder to start the next time. This is the vicious cycle of the 99%. They live in a state of perpetual getting ready to get ready. They spend their lives planning, researching, and waiting for the right time. The right time is a myth. It does not exist. It's an excuse fabricated by the comfort zone to maintain the status. The perfect plan is a form of procrastination. The endless research is a form of procrastination. The constant search for one more piece of information before you start is a form of procrastination. It all feels productive. It feels like you're working on your dream, but you're not. You're just polishing the bars of your cage. You're staying busy to avoid doing the real, scary work. You must declare war on the word someday. You must eliminate it from your vocabulary. You must replace it with a new, more powerful, and far more honest word: today. Your new mantra is not someday, it is day one. Today is day one of starting your fitness journey. Today is day one of writing your business plan. Today is day one of learning that new skill, not the whole journey, just day one. The antidote to the slow poison of someday is immediate, imperfect action. You break the spell of procrastination not by thinking your way out of it, but by acting your way out of it. The task you are avoiding the most is almost certainly the task that will move you closest to your dreams. Your fear is a compass, and it is pointing directly at your most important work. You must develop a bias for action. When you have an idea, when you know what you need to do, you must learn to move before your brain has a chance to talk you out of it. Use the 5-second rule. The moment you feel the instinct to act, count backward from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And you physically move. You stand up, you pick up the phone, you open the laptop. This physical action short-circuits the mental hesitation loop. It is a declaration that you are in charge, not your feelings of discomfort. Most people believe that motivation precedes action. They wait to feel like it. This is backward. Action precedes motivation. You don't feel your way into acting. You act your way into feeling. Go for a run even when you don't feel like it. After 5 minutes, when the endorphins kick in, you'll start to feel motivated. Write one paragraph even when you feel uninspired. Often, that one paragraph will unlock the flow of ideas. The motivation you're waiting for is not coming. It's on the other side of the action you're avoiding. You also need to reframe your relationship with time. The 99% see time as an infinite resource. There's always tomorrow. This is a dangerous illusion. You need to cultivate a sense of urgency. Your time is finite. Every day you spend waiting in the comfort zone is a day of your one precious life that you will never get back. It is a day your dream suffocates a little more. I want you to do a painful but necessary exercise. Calculate how many days you have left, assuming you live to an average age. Let's say you're 35. You have roughly 16,000 days left. That number is not infinite. It's starkly, terrifyingly finite. Every tick of the clock is one less tick you have to build the life you want. Does that make you uncomfortable? Good, it should. Let that discomfort be your fuel. Let it be the fire that burns the word someday to ashes. Stop being a dreamer and become a doer. Stop being a planner and become a builder. The graveyard is full of people who were going to start someday. Your legacy will not be defined by your intentions. It will be defined by your actions. The time to act is not when you're ready. The time to act is now, because now is all you have. Chapter 4: The Currency of Discomfort. In the economy of personal growth, there is only one currency that holds any value. It is not money, talent, or luck. It is discomfort. Every single thing you want in life that you do not currently have exists on the other side of a wall of discomfort. The fit body is on the other side of the discomfort of sore muscles and saying no to junk food. The successful business is on the other side of the discomfort of rejection, uncertainty, and financial risk. The deep, intimate relationship is on the other side of the discomfort of vulnerability and difficult conversations. Your dream life has a price tag, and that price tag is written in units of discomfort. The 99% spend their entire lives trying to avoid paying this price. They are discomfort avoidant. They seek the easiest path, the safest option, the most predictable outcome. They see the feeling of discomfort as a signal that something is wrong, that they should retreat. This is the single greatest error in their thinking. You must learn to see discomfort as a signal that something is right. Discomfort is your compass. It is a big, flashing neon sign that points directly toward your growth. If you are feeling comfortable, you are not growing. You are maintaining. You are stagnating. If you are feeling uncomfortable, it means you are stretching your abilities. You are challenging your beliefs. You are rewiring your brain. You are in the process of becoming more than you were before. You must fundamentally transform your relationship with this feeling. You must stop tolerating it and start chasing it. You must become a seeker of purposeful discomfort. This means intentionally and strategically putting yourself in situations that challenge you mentally, physically, and emotionally. This is not about being reckless. It's about being a scientist in the laboratory of your own life. You are testing your limits, not to break yourself, but to expand yourself. Think of it like strength training. To build a muscle, you must lift a weight that is heavy enough to cause microscopic tears in the muscle fibers. The discomfort and soreness you feel afterward is the signal that the muscle is in the process of rebuilding itself stronger than before. If you only ever lift weights that are easy and comfortable, your muscles will never grow. Your potential, your confidence, your courage, these are all psychological muscles. They only grow through resistance. One of the most powerful ways to practice this is to do one thing every single day that makes you uncomfortable. I call this your daily discomfort dose. It doesn't have to be monumental. It can be small. Take a cold shower for 30 seconds. The feeling of dread before you turn the handle, the shock of the cold water, that is a pure, unadulterated dose of discomfort. By forcing yourself to do it, you are teaching your brain a powerful lesson. You can tolerate discomfort, and you are the one in charge, not your fleeting feelings. Other examples: introduce yourself to a stranger. Make the phone call you've been dreading first thing in the morning. Eat your frog. Choose to read a challenging book instead of scrolling on your phone. Purposely choose the stairs instead of the elevator. Each of these small acts is a deposit in your courage account. It's a rep for your discomfort muscle. Most people live in a state of comfort surplus. Their lives are so optimized for ease that their resilience has atrophied. The slightest inconvenience throws them into a tailspin. A traffic jam ruins their day. A critical comment sends them into a spiral of anxiety. By microdosing discomfort, you are building a psychological immune system. You are increasing your tolerance for stress and adversity. When real challenges arise in your life, and they will, you will be prepared. You will have the mental fortitude to handle them because you have been training for it every single day. The 99% pray for an easy life. You will pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. That is the fundamental mindset shift. You must also learn to reframe the stories you tell yourself about discomfort. When you feel the anxiety of starting a new project, don't tell yourself, "I'm so scared I can't do this." Tell yourself, "This feeling is my body getting ready for a challenge. This is the feeling of growth. I'm excited to see what's on the other side." You are not changing the physical sensation. You are changing the meaning you assign to it. Words create worlds. By changing your internal narrative, you can transform a feeling of terror into a feeling of excitement. They are two sides of the same physiological coin. The currency of discomfort buys you more than just your dreams. It buys you self-respect. There is a deep, quiet pride that comes from knowing you did the hard thing. You can't buy it. You can't fake it. You can only earn it, one uncomfortable action at a time. The person who consistently chooses the difficult path develops a level of self-trust that is unbreakable. They know they can rely on themselves when things get tough. The person who always chooses comfort has a deep, subconscious knowledge that they cannot be counted on. This is the source of much of the anxiety and low self-esteem in the world. They haven't earned their own respect. So I ask you, what is the price of your dream? Are you willing to pay it? Are you willing to step up to the counter and slide a pile of discomfort currency across? Or will you remain outside looking through the window, wondering what it would be like to have what you want, forever unwilling to pay the cost of admission? Your dreams are not free. They never will be. Start paying your dues today. Seek out the uncomfortable. Embrace the difficult. The more you pay, the richer your life will become. In Chapter 5, Your First Escape, The Power of the Microleap. The thought of escaping the comfort zone can be overwhelming. You look at the massive chasm between where you are and where you want to be, and it feels impossible to cross. Your brain, in an effort to protect you, screams, "It's too far, it's too dangerous, stay where you are." This is why most grand resolutions fail. People try to make a heroic, giant leap across the chasm. They go from 0 to 100 overnight. They burn out, fall short, and retreat back to their cage, now more convinced than ever that the escape is impossible. This is the wrong strategy. You do not escape the comfort zone with one giant leap. You escape with 1,000 tiny ones. The secret to breaking free is the microleap. A microleap is an action that is so small, so manageable, so non-threatening, that your brain doesn't even have time to activate its fear response. It's an action that is just slightly outside your current comfort zone, but not so far that it paralyzes you. It's about making progress so gradual that it's almost imperceptible on a daily basis, but revolutionary over time. The 99% are obsessed with outcomes. They want to lose 30 pounds. They want to make $1 million. They want to be a best-selling author. They get fixated on the end goal, and because the end goal is so far away, they get discouraged and quit. You must forget the outcome. You must fall in love with the process, and the process starts with the smallest possible step. Let's say your dream is to run a marathon, but right now you're a couch potato. The giant leap is trying to run 5 miles on your first day. You'll likely fail, hurt yourself, and quit. The microleap is putting on your running shoes and walking to the end of your driveway and back. Can you do that? Of course you can. It's almost laughably easy. But in that one small action, you have done something powerful. You have created momentum. You have cast a vote for your new identity as a person who runs. Tomorrow, maybe you walk around the block. The next week, you jog for 30 seconds. The key is to make the next step so small that it's easier to do it than to make an excuse not to. This is how you outsmart your brain's resistance. You fly under the radar of your own fear. This principle, known in Japan as Kaizen, or continuous improvement, is the foundation of lasting change. It's about making 1% improvements every day. A 1% improvement is barely noticeable, but compounded over a year, it results in a 37-fold increase in your ability. This is the mathematical power of the microleap. Most people overestimate what they can do in a day and dramatically underestimate what they can do in a year. They swing for the fences, strike out, and give up. You will focus on just making contact with the ball every single day. Let's apply this to another area, fear of public speaking. The giant leap is volunteering to give the keynote address at a conference. Terrifying. The microleap is deciding that in your next team meeting you will say one sentence, just one. You will state one opinion or ask one question. That's it. The next meeting, maybe you aim for 2 sentences. You are slowly, systematically expanding the boundary of your comfort zone, one tiny push at a time. The boundary is like an elastic band. If you try to stretch it too far, too fast, it snaps. But with gentle, consistent pressure, it expands. What was once terrifying becomes manageable. What was once manageable becomes comfortable. Your old comfort zone becomes your new. The microleap strategy is also a powerful antidote to procrastination. The reason you procrastinate is that the task feels too big and overwhelming. The solution is to break it down into the smallest possible unit of action. You don't write a book. You open the document and write one sentence. The activation energy required for writing one sentence is almost zero. But once you've written one, it's often easy to write another. You have overcome the initial inertia, which is the hardest part. You've tricked yourself into starting. The beauty of the microleap is that it builds a chain of undeniable evidence. Each small, successful action is a win. It's a deposit into your self-trust account. At the end of the week, you can't tell yourself, "I can't do this," because you have a list of 7 small victories that prove you can. You are building confidence from the ground up, based on the concrete proof of your own actions, not on flimsy affirmations. The 99% wait for confidence to act. You will act to build confidence. That is the critical difference. So, what is your first microleap? I want you to identify one dream, one goal that lives outside your comfort zone. Now I want you to identify the absolute smallest, simplest, easiest first step you could take towards it. A step so small it feels silly. Is it sending one email? Is it doing one push-up? Is it researching one phone number? Whatever it is, I want you to commit to doing it today, not tomorrow, not when you feel like it. Today. This is your first escape. It won't be dramatic. There will be no fireworks, but it will be the most important step you ever take. Because it is the step that proves the walls of your cage are not as solid as you thought. It's the first chip in the stone, and with enough chips, any wall will crumble. Stop looking at the mountain. Just focus on taking the first tiny step. The rest will follow. In Chapter 6, Architecting Your Environment for Growth. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And the most powerful system in your life is your environment. Your environment, your physical space, your digital space, and your social circle is constantly sending signals to your brain, nudging you towards certain behaviors and away from others. The 99% are slaves to their environment. They live in spaces that are perfectly designed to keep them comfortable, distracted, and stagnant. Then they try to use their limited willpower to fight against the powerful currents of their surroundings. It's a losing battle. A person with average willpower in a great environment will always outperform a person with great willpower in a poor environment. Your mission is not to become a superhero of self-control. Your mission is to become an architect of an environment that makes growth the path of least resistance. You must design a space where your desired actions are easy and your undesired actions are hard. Let's start with your physical environment. Look at your home. Is it designed for consumption or creation? The average person's living room is dominated by a giant screen, with all furniture pointing towards it like a place of worship. This is an environment designed for passive consumption. What if you re-architected it? What if you put a bookshelf where the TV was? What if you created a dedicated, comfortable reading chair with good lighting? You are changing the environmental cues. You are making it easier to read and harder to watch mindless television. Now, consider your kitchen. If your cupboards and fridge are filled with junk food, you are setting yourself up for failure. When you are tired and stressed, you will not have the willpower to resist the easy, comforting option. The battle was lost the moment you bought the junk food at the grocery store. The successful architect of health designs their environment by never letting the poison into the house in the first place. They stock their kitchen with healthy, easy-to-grab options. They make the good choice the easy choice. The same principle applies to your workspace. Is your desk a cluttered mess of distractions, or is it a clean, clear sanctuary for deep work? When it's time to focus, the only thing on your desk should be the tool for the task at hand. Everything else should be out of sight. Out of sight, out of mind. You want to increase the friction for distraction. This brings us to your digital environment, which is arguably the most powerful environmental force in modern life. Your smartphone is a comfort zone generating machine. It is an infinite buffet of easy dopamine, designed to keep you scrolling and consuming. You must be ruthless in architecting this space. First, conduct an app. Delete every single social media app, news app, and game that does not directly contribute to your growth or serve a critical purpose. If you need to check social media, do it from a web browser on a computer. This added friction will dramatically cut down on mindless, impulsive checking. Second, turn off every single notification. Your phone should be a tool that you use, not a master that uses you. Notifications are environmental cues that hijack your attention and pull you into a reactive state. By turning them off, you reclaim control. You decide when you engage with the digital world. You are creating an environment of proactive focus, not reactive distraction. Third, curate your inputs. Who you follow online matters. Unfollow every account that makes you feel envious, angry, or inadequate. Follow thinkers, creators, and experts in fields you want to grow in. Turn your social media feed from a source of mental junk food into a curated library of inspiration and knowledge. You are architecting an environment that automatically pulls you upward. Finally, and most importantly, you must architect your social environment. The people you spend time with are the most powerful environmental force of all. Jim famously said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." This is a profound truth. If your 5 closest friends are cynical, ambitious, and committed to their comfort zones, their mindset will seep into you like a slow poison. It is almost impossible to maintain a growth mindset when you are surrounded by a culture of mediocrity. This is the hardest part of the escape for most people. It may require you to lovingly create distance from people you care about. It may mean having difficult conversations. You have to decide what is more important, your future and your dreams, or the comfort of maintaining social ties that are holding you back. This isn't about being better than anyone. It's about recognizing that you cannot fly with eagles if you continue to scratch with turkeys. You must actively seek out people who are playing the game at a higher level than you are. Find a mentor. Join a mastermind group. Go to industry events. Surround yourself with people whose normal is your goal. Their energy, their habits, their way of thinking will become your own. Their environment will become your environment. Most people are passive inhabitants of their environment. They accept the world as it is presented to them. You are an architect. You are a designer. You understand that your environment is either working for you or against you. It is never neutral. Take a hard look at your spaces, physical, digital, and social. Are they pushing you toward your dreams or pulling you back into the cage? Be honest. And then start building. Change one thing today. Remove one distraction. Add one tool for growth. Reach out to one person who inspires you. Deliberately and methodically build an environment where your success is not just possible, but inevitable. Chapter 7: The Fear Equation. Action as the only antidote. At the very center of your comfort zone, protecting it like a dragon guarding a treasure, lies fear. Fear is the emotional glue that holds the walls of your cage together. It's the fear of failure, the fear of judgment, the fear of success, the fear of the unknown. As long as you remain unwilling to face this dragon, you will remain a prisoner. The 99% have a simple equation for dealing with fear. Fear stop. The moment they feel the cold grip of anxiety, they interpret it as a definitive signal to halt all forward progress. They believe they must first conquer the fear, eliminate it completely, and only then will they be able to act. This is perhaps the most debilitating lie of all because it is impossible. You will never eliminate fear. As long as you are growing and pushing your boundaries, fear will be your constant companion. The exceptional individual, the 1%, has a different equation. Their equation is fear go. They understand that fear is not a stop sign, it is a green light. It is a biological indicator that they are standing at the very edge of their current capabilities and that growth is on the other side. They have learned the secret that action is not the byproduct of courage. Courage is the byproduct of action. You don't get brave and then act. You act, and in doing so, you become brave. Action is the only known antidote to fear. Fear and overthinking are best friends. Fear thrives in the realm of imagination and speculation. When you are sitting still, your mind is free to conjure up 1,000 horrifying what-if scenarios. What if I launch my product and no one buys it? What if I give the presentation and forget my words? What if I ask them out and they say no? In your mind, these failures are catastrophic. They are vivid and emotionally potent. The dragon of fear grows larger and more terrifying with every moment of inaction. But when you take action, something magical happens. You leave the realm of imagination and enter the realm of reality. And reality is rarely as terrifying as what your fear-fueled imagination cooked up. The action, even if it's a failure, gives you data. It gives you feedback. You launch the product and no one buys it. That's not a catastrophe, it's market feedback. You learn something. You can now iterate, pivot, and try again. The person sitting at home, paralyzed by fear, learns nothing. They are still trapped in the hypothetical. You are in the game, learning, adapting, and moving forward. The fear of judgment is particularly potent. We are social creatures, and the fear of being ostracized is wired deep into our DNA. But you must realize this truth. The people whose judgment you fear are almost always the people who are sitting safely in the stands. They are the critics, not the creators. They are the spectators, not the players. Said it best in his Man in the Arena speech. It is not the critic who counts. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood. You must decide if you want to be the critic in the clean, safe seats or the warrior in the dusty arena. The judgment of the crowd is irrelevant. The only thing that matters is that you had the courage to step onto the field. Action dissolves fear by building competence. The first time you do anything new, you are incompetent and it feels scary. The first time you drive a car is a terrifying experience of sensory overload, but you did it. And then you did it again and again. With each repetition, you built competence. The fear diminished, not because the act of driving became less dangerous, but because your ability to handle it increased. Now, you drive without even thinking about it. The fear has been replaced by skill. This is the model for escaping your comfort zone in any area. You must be willing to be a fool. You must be willing to be incompetent at the beginning. Most people are not. Their ego can't handle the discomfort of being a beginner. They want to be an expert on day one. This is impossible. You must embrace the awkward, clumsy, initial phase of learning. Every expert you admire was once a fumbling beginner. The only difference between them and the person who quit is that they were willing to endure the discomfort of incompetence long enough to become competent. So how do you act when the fear is screaming at you? You shrink the action. We talked about the microleap. This is its application in the face of fear. You don't have to slay the dragon. You just have to take one tiny step towards it. If you're afraid to make a sales call, your action isn't making the call. Your action is looking up the phone number. Your next action is writing down the first sentence you will say. Your next action is dialing the number. By breaking the scary action down into a series of non-scary micro-actions, you build momentum and ease yourself into the arena. Fear is a physical sensation. It's energy in your body. You can also use physiology to manage it. Before a scary event, don't huddle in a corner trying to calm down. Stand up tall. Pull your shoulders back. Put your hands on your hips like a superhero. This is a power pose. Studies by social psychologist Amy Cuddy show that adopting powerful body language can actually change your brain chemistry, increasing testosterone, the confidence hormone, and decreasing cortisol, the stress hormone. You can literally change how you feel by changing how you stand. Your fear is a call to adventure. It is an invitation to grow. Stop treating it like an enemy to be vanquished and start treating it like a mentor to be respected. Thank it for trying to keep you safe, and then politely inform it that you have bigger plans. The dragon is not there to kill you. It is there to see if you are worthy of the treasure. And you prove your worthiness not by being fearless, but by acting in spite of your fear. Chapter 8. Building your discomfort muscle. By now, you understand that discomfort is the currency of growth. You know that fear is a compass, and that action is the antidote. Now, it's time to move from theory to practice. It's time to go to the gym. Not the physical gym, but the psychological gym. You must begin a disciplined, consistent training regimen designed to strengthen the most important muscle you have, your discomfort muscle. Your ability to tolerate and even seek out discomfort is not a fixed trait. It is a skill, and like any skill, it can be trained. The 99% have a severely atrophied discomfort muscle. Their lives are so optimized for ease that they have the emotional strength of a wet noodle. The slightest challenge sends them running for cover. You are going to become a psychological athlete. You will train this muscle with the same principles a bodybuilder uses to build physical strength: progressive overload, consistency, and recovery. Progressive overload means that to get stronger, you must continually increase the resistance. If you lift the same 5-pound dumbbell every day, you will never get stronger. You must gradually increase the weight. The same is true for your discomfort muscle. You start with small, manageable weights. We've talked about this. Taking a 30-second cold shower, that's your 5-pound dumbbell. You do that every day for a week. It's still uncomfortable, but it's manageable. The next week, you apply progressive overload. You increase the weight. You go for 45 seconds, the week after a full minute. You are systematically increasing your capacity to handle discomfort. Let's apply this to another domain, social anxiety. Your starting weight might be making eye contact and smiling at one stranger during your day. You do this for a week. The next week, you level up. You make eye contact, smile, and say good morning. Progressive overload. The next week, you ask a barista how their day is going and actually listen to the answer. With each small, incremental increase in difficulty, your muscle adapts and grows stronger. What was once heavy becomes your new warm-up weight. The key to this training is consistency. You cannot go to the gym once a month and expect results. You must train consistently. This is why the daily discomfort dose is so powerful. You must do something every single day that pushes you slightly. This daily practice keeps the muscle engaged. It reminds your brain every 24 hours that you are the kind of person who does hard things. Most people operate in emotional sprints. They get a burst of motivation, do something incredibly hard, exhaust themselves, and then do nothing for a month. This is ineffective. You are a marathoner. You are training for the long haul. Slow, steady, consistent pressure is what creates an unbreakable will. The daily nature of this practice also re-engineers your identity. You are not just a person who does uncomfortable things. You are becoming an uncomfortable person, meaning your default state is one of growth and challenge. Comfort starts to feel uncomfortable. Stagnation starts to feel alien. You have so fundamentally rewired your expectations that a life without challenge feels boring and meaningless. This is the goal. You are flipping the script. Another crucial training technique is voluntary hardship. This is the practice of periodically, intentionally making your life harder than it needs to be. For example, you could try intermittent fasting, deliberately choosing to experience the discomfort of hunger. You could choose to sleep on the floor for a night. You could go on a weekend camping trip with minimal gear. These practices, embraced by Stoic philosophers for centuries, serve as a psychological vaccine. You are exposing yourself to a small, controlled dose of hardship, so that when real, involuntary hardship strikes, you are inoculated against it. You have proven to yourself that you can endure. You have confidence in your own resilience because you have tested it. Most people in the modern world are so insulated from hardship that they are incredibly fragile. Their spirit is brittle. You are forging a spirit of tempered steel. The final piece of the training regimen is recovery. Just as a muscle needs time to repair and grow after a workout, your mind needs rest. This isn't about retreating back to your old comfort zone. It's about consolidating your gains. Recovery means getting enough sleep. It means having periods of quiet reflection. It means celebrating your wins, no matter how small. Acknowledging your progress is crucial for motivation. Keep a courage journal. Every night, write down the one uncomfortable thing you did that day and how it felt. This journal will become a powerful testament to your growing strength. It is concrete proof that you are changing. Building your discomfort muscle is not about masochism. It's not about seeking pain for pain's sake. It is the most profound form of self-care. It is the act of preparing yourself for the inevitable challenges of life. It is about transforming yourself from a fragile victim of circumstance into a resilient creator of your own destiny. The 99% spend their lives seeking comfort and find only weakness. You will seek discomfort and find unimaginable strength. So, what is your workout for today? What weight are you going to lift? Pick your exercise, step up to the bar, and do the rep. Your future self will thank you for it. Chapter 9. The Social Contract of Mediocrity. When you decide to escape your comfort zone, you will quickly discover that you are not just breaking a personal contract with yourself. You are violating a social contract you didn't even know you had signed. This is the unwritten, unspoken agreement among a group of people to remain the same, to not rock the boat, and to collectively stay within a shared comfort zone. This social contract of mediocrity is one of the most powerful forces pulling you back into the cage. Your growth will make other people uncomfortable. This is not a possibility, it is a guarantee. And how you handle this social pressure will determine whether you successfully escape or get dragged back into the herd. The people around you, your friends, your family, have a vested interest in you staying the same. They have built a model of you in their minds. They know how you'll react, what you'll say, what you'll do. It's predictable and safe. When you start to change, you shatter that model. You become unpredictable. This creates anxiety for them. Your personal growth journey is an implicit judgment on their lack of one. When you start getting up at 5 a.m. to work on your dream, it shines a harsh light on their choice to hit the snooze button. When you start eating healthy and getting in shape, it silently critiques their diet. When you talk about your new business idea with passion and excitement, it reminds them of the dreams they abandoned long ago. They may not say it out loud, but your ambition is a mirror, and many people do not like what they see in it. So what do? They try to break the mirror. They will try to pull you back to their level to restore the comfortable equilibrium of the group. This pull can take many forms. It can be overt criticism. That's a stupid idea, it will never work. You're not really the business owner type. Why can't you just be happy with what you have? It can be subtle mockery or teasing. Oh, look at Mr. Motivation over here. Still on that crazy diet. This teasing is a social mechanism designed to enforce conformity. It's a way of saying, you're getting out of line, come back to us. It can also come in the form of concerned trolling. I'm just worried about you. You're working too hard. Are you sure this is a good idea? It seems so risky. This often comes from a place of genuine care, but it is still rooted in fear. They are projecting their own fear of risk and failure onto you. The 99% are terrified of failure, and they are even more terrified of watching someone they know succeed because it invalidates all their excuses for why they haven't tried. So how do you handle this? First, you must anticipate it. Know that it is coming. When it happens, you won't be surprised or defensive. You will see it for what it is. A predictable immune response from the social system you are trying to leave. Do not get angry. Do not argue. Trying to justify your new path to someone who is committed to their comfort zone is a waste of breath. You cannot explain the view from the mountaintop to someone who is determined to stay in the valley. Your new life is the only explanation they will ever understand, and most won't even understand it then. You must develop what is called outcome independence. Your self-worth and your commitment to your path cannot be dependent on the approval of others. You must be your own source of validation. You are doing this for you, for your future self, for your dreams. The opinions of those who are not on the journey with you are irrelevant noise. You must politely but firmly set boundaries. When someone makes a negative comment, you don't have to engage. You can simply say, I appreciate your perspective, but this is something I need to do for myself. Or, thanks for your concern, but I'm really excited about this. You are not asking for their permission. You are informing them of your decision. The most difficult realization is that some relationships may not survive your growth. Some people are only in your life because you fit neatly into their comfort zone. When you change, the basis of the relationship may dissolve. This is a painful but necessary part of the process. You must be willing to outgrow people who are not willing to grow with you. It is better to walk alone for a while on the right path than to walk with a crowd on the wrong one. But here is the good news. As you leave one tribe, you create space to find a new one. As you continue on your path of growth, you will inevitably meet other travelers. You will start to connect with people who are also climbing, also striving, also living outside the cage. These are the people who will celebrate your wins, understand your struggles, and push you to be even better. Your new tribe will be forged in shared ambition, not shared comfort. You must be proactive in finding these people. Go to seminars. Join online communities related to your goals. Hire a coach. Surround yourself with people who make you feel like you need to level up. Your new peer group will become a tailwind, pushing you forward, just as your old one may have been a headwind, holding you back. Escaping the social contract of mediocrity is a test of your resolve. It will force you to choose between being liked and being respected, starting with respecting yourself. It will reveal who your true friends are. Your true friends are the ones who may not understand your journey but still support your decision to take it. Everyone else is just a cage mate. Be polite, be loving, but be resolute. Your dreams are more important than their comfort. Chapter 10: Life Beyond the Walls, the New You. We have come to the end of this blueprint, but it is the beginning of your new reality. We have talked about the cage, the biology of fear, the poison of someday, the currency of discomfort, and the social pressures that keep you trapped. But what does it all lead to? What does life look like, feel like when you finally break free? What happens when stepping outside your comfort zone is no longer a rare act of courage, but your default way of being? The person who emerges on the other side of this journey is fundamentally different from the one who started it. The change is not just in your habits, it's in your identity. You no longer see yourself as a person who is trying to be brave or disciplined. You simply are brave. You are disciplined. It is who you have become, forged in the fires of 1,000 small, uncomfortable choices. Life beyond the walls is not a life without fear. That is a fantasy. Instead, it is a life where fear is no longer your master. It is your advisor. You feel fear and you smile because you recognize it as a signpost for your next adventure. You have transformed your relationship with it from one of dread to one of respect and even excitement. The world, which once seemed intimidating and full of obstacles, now looks like a playground full of opportunities for growth. The new you is defined by resilience. Life will still knock you down. You will still fail. You will still face setbacks, but the difference is profound. The old you would have seen a setback as a reason to retreat back to the cage, as proof that you weren't good enough. The new you sees a setback as a lesson. You have the deep, earned confidence that you can handle it. You get back up, not because you're a mindless optimist, but because you have a library of evidence in your mind of all the times you've faced discomfort and survived. You trust yourself. Your emotional foundation is no longer made of straw, it is made of granite. Life beyond the walls is a life of momentum. The old you had to fight a daily battle against inertia, struggling to get started. The new you is an object in motion. Your positive habits, the early mornings, the daily challenges, the focused work, are so ingrained that they have their own gravitational pull. It now takes more effort to not do them than to do them. You are no longer pushing a boulder up a hill. You are riding a wave of your own creation. This momentum makes success feel less like a struggle and more like an inevitability. The new you experiences a different kind of happiness. The happiness of the comfort zone is a shallow, fleeting pleasure derived from consumption and distraction. It's the happiness of being sedated. The happiness you now experience is deeper, richer, and more enduring. It is the joy of creation, the satisfaction of overcoming a challenge, the pride of becoming. It is the fulfillment that comes only from living in alignment with your true potential. It's not a loud, boisterous happiness. It is a quiet, solid, unshakable sense of rightness. You feel at home in your own skin because you have earned your own respect. But be warned, this new life requires maintenance. The comfort zone is not a place you leave permanently. It is a force of nature like gravity that is always trying to pull you back in. Complacency is its greatest ally. The moment you think you have arrived, the moment you stop seeking purposeful discomfort, is the moment the walls begin to creep back in around you. The escape is not a one-time event. It is a lifelong commitment to the process of becoming. Your new comfort zone will be a state of perpetual growth. What was once terrifyingly uncomfortable will become your new normal. And from that new, expanded base, you will seek out new, even greater challenges. That is the game, and you will fall in love with playing it. You started this journey because your comfort zone was killing your dreams, but you will continue it for a different reason. You will continue it because the aliveness you feel when you are striving, growing, and overcoming is infinitely more satisfying than the deadening safety you left behind. You will continue it because you have tasted freedom, and you will never again settle for the cage. Look back at the person you were when you started this. See their fears, their excuses, their hesitation. Have compassion for that person, but know that they are no longer you. You are the architect of your environment. You are the master of your biology. You are the warrior in the arena. You are the person who does hard things. This is your new identity. Claim it, live it, and never ever let the walls close in again. Your adventure is just beginning. The closing. So here we are, at the end of one journey and the beginning of another. The central premise of this entire audiobook has been a single, stark truth. Your comfort zone, that warm, familiar, and seemingly safe place, is the graveyard of your potential. It is the silent killer of the life you were meant to live. You came here seeking a way out. You were given the keys, the maps, and the tools. You now understand that comfort is a cage, that fear is a compass, and that action is the only antidote. But knowledge without application is meaningless. The most important question is, what will you do now? The person who simply listened to this and feels a temporary rush of motivation is still a prisoner. The person who takes one idea, one strategy, and applies it today, that is the person who has started their escape. The transformation you seek is not in these words. It is in your actions. It is in the decision to take the cold shower. It is in the courage to make the call. It is in the discipline to write the first sentence. It is in the 100 small, uncomfortable choices you will make every single day. Do not aim for a life without fear. Aim for a life where you are no longer controlled by it. Aim for a life where the presence of fear excites you, because it signals that you are once again at the edge of your growth. This is the great paradox. The relentless pursuit of comfort leads to a life of anxiety and weakness. The relentless pursuit of purposeful discomfort leads to a life of strength, resilience, and deep, authentic confidence. You are building a new you, a you that does not run from challenges but seeks them out, a you that does not crumble under pressure but is forged by it, a you that finds validation not in the applause of the crowd but in the quiet, undeniable pride of knowing you honored your commitments to yourself. This is the path. It is not an easy one. If it were, everyone would walk it. But it is a simple one. Every day you have a choice. You can choose the easy path of comfort, which leads to stagnation and regret, or you can choose the difficult path of growth, which leads to freedom and fulfillment. The choice is always yours in every moment. Your dreams are not waiting for you in the safety of the harbor. They are waiting for you out in the wild, tumultuous, and magnificent open sea. It's time to pull up the anchor. It's time to raise the sails. It's time to steer your ship directly into the storm. You are ready. Go.